Alright guys, we're here today to have a look at Player Companion for Shadowdark by Chubby Funster. Chubby Funster has created several different books for Shadowdark. I know he's working on converting one or two of his settings over that he's done for other things. He is also just after releasing a GM companion guide, so I'll be interested in looking at that at some stage as well. So this book is going to have some ancestries, some classes, and lots of equipment. I think the equipment part is the best part of this. I really like several of the classes. My only criticism of the classes is some of the magic-based ones. Like the Necromancers, there's no new spells in here. That's the only thing I kind of don't like about it in the whole book, really. Like the Ranger will have some spells as well. I think he gets them at level 3 from the top of my head. Yeah, it's level 3. And you'll have 1 or 2. Yeah, I think it's 1, and then level 4, I think he's 2. What I would do is, I know there is some spells and classes out there that other people have made, like druid stuff. There's a druid in here, but again, there's no new spells. I would take the class spells from that, pull them into this, and have a GM rule what ones they can and cannot take. I think that'd be the best way to do it. But there is a scout in this. Yeah, that's the one I like a lot. It is kind of more like a classic ranger, like a fire mayor or Aragorn type character. Some of these answers are really good, some of them are really powerful. Again, some of these classes are really powerful. So I'm just gonna have a look at maybe 3 or 4 ancestries, 3 or 4 classes, and go through some of the equipment. I'll go through slow enough so you can pause. So I'll give it enough time you can pause in each of them, so you can read them themselves if you want. And the backgrounds, I really like the backgrounds. Backgrounds are great. They individualize the classes, I think, a good bit. So say you could have 2 fighter classes, and one of them was an athlete, just perfect specimen his whole life. And another one is a naturalist who just happened to get into, he happened to be a good fighter. But the naturalist, he knows more about nature and animals than the athlete who's just competition all the time. It just adds another role playing aspect you can put in, and there's just more variety. If you just here's just a quick look at them. So if you don't really want to know about the background too much of them like you have here, just roll your D100, whatever you get. These are the languages they know, and here's some details about how they can operate. We'll go over 1 or 2 of them here, 3 or 4 of them here. So here's a changeling. Changelings are humanoid descendants of doppelgangers that retain part of their shape-shifting ability. Oh, sugar. Okay. Changelings are humanoid descendants of doppelgangers that retain a part of their shape-shifting ability. Changelings know the common languages and they hide mostly among humans. They're mercurial. Changelings can use innate illusion magic to change their facial features enough to be a perfect disguise and reign in hidden places until altered. I think this is really good. This will go really well with like a T4 rogue class that you have in the game, the core game itself, or even in this. There's a few sort of TV type classes, and one of them is the spy. I think this ancestry of the spy would be so good for obvious reasons. Gold Dwarf. Gold Dwarfs are cunning merchants of the trades. They can often be found in wandering caverns, crossing exotic lands. Gold Dwarfs know the common dwarvish language. Mercantile. Gold Dwarfs gain a 10% discount on purchased items, including certain equipment bonus with 10% bonus in selling treasure. That's actually very powerful. I would maybe rule it to be 5%. They're just like really charming and they know what they're talking about, and everyone knows they know what they're talking about, so there's no putting any wool over their eyes. Mountain Orcs. Mountain Orcs are barbarian raiders that prey upon civilized folk. They produce almost no goods of their own aside from weapons and armor smithing. Mountain Orcs are outcasts and only know the Orcs language. Strife. Mountain Orcs gain a +2 AC against melee combat in about melee attacks in combat. My sort of games, kobolds, lizard folk, orcs, they're not going to be a player class. That's how I think run things. You don't have to, obviously. Everyone likes their own games different. Because to me, orcs are and hobgoblins, goblins. They're evil. They're just evil bad guys. I'll read one more here. Rock gnomes. Rock gnomes are the most common of the gnomish folk. They are known for their keen nose and talent for mechanical work. Rock gnomes know the dwarfish language and common. Light touch. Rock gnomes gain advantage on all checks to disarm traps. On a natural one, they do not trigger a trap. They are disarming. Classes is the same thing here above. You can just roll a d100, get your result. Okay, we'll look at 3 or 4 of these here. Archers. Archers train from a young age how to repeatedly make heavy bow pull and hit targets at distance. The weapons they can use, there you go: clubs, daggers, longbows, shortbow, staff, leather armor, chainmail. 1d8 per level of hit points. Call shot. It's a really good ability. You just say what you're aiming for on the body part before you roll, and have -2 penalty. And if you hit it at the -2 penalty, you should say. If you hit below the waist, the movement will be impaired for 2 rounds. Hitting arm will cause the weapon to drop. Super powerful ability. Yeah, that's very powerful. I'd probably change it a little bit. I'd say if they hit in the arm, there's a chance of dropping the weapon. And hitting in the legs, they'll be slowed. So maybe we do half or even 1/3 speed. Otherwise, you just spam it. So you might need to do a little bit of balancing. Assassin. Again, it's basically a roll with a little more health. And they come with venom already. But I think it's really good. Again, it's a little twist on what we already have. But I think it's enough. Beastmaster. I really like this class. Again, it's basically a warrior type class, but they have animal kinship, which allows the camel wild animal at a DC 12. And you can also do a DC 15 check and use 1 ration to calm a beast into your service. On a fail, the animal flees the area unless restrained. What I would do is, if it's like a bear or a wolf or a predatory animal, I would say there's a 50% chance on a fail they will attack. You might just attack and run, or you're in a combat and they gain snares, which is basically a trap. 1d4 damage. If it gets triggered and they don't make the dex check, obviously. I'll go down towards some of the other ones. Again, I think overall this is a really good book. Get down to Necromancer, I think. Let's have a quick look at that. And there's no new spells. So, Command Undead, you can use your ability to subject the dead. Make a charisma check, a DC 10, plus the level of the undead. Succeed, you allow you to command them as charmed for 3 rounds. Scroll study. Yeah, so it's control undead, and they have wizard spells. Yeah, that's really my only criticism. Like I've said, is some of the new. There's no new magic, and it's kind of just, yeah. Ranger. I really like this. I would use this pre-spells. What I would do is I would take a druid class of someone. I know there's a few druid classes have been made. Use the spells from that, and then you can use it at like 3rd level, and you could pick a handful. The GM come and say, these are the ones you have access to, so pick. And I could have 1 more. Your scout. So it's a 1d6. your alertness, your +2 initiative bonus. If you're not surprised, and you are not surprised unless you are actively engaging in a task. Pathfinding. On intelligence checks, you determine your location and find the path to your known objective. You have +2 on stealth checks and tracking. They succeed on normal, easy and normal tracking. I really like this. Again, it feels like very much an Aragorn or Faramir type character or class. And here's the spy. Combine this with the changeling. You'd have a lot of fun. Just play a lot of roleplay you can be doing from this. Again, this book is pick and choose what you like. You're not required to be, oh, I have to use this. No, it's pick and choose. Equipment is great. It's gonna add a little more variety. So that you just get jewels. You have these. You get diamonds. It's not just jewels. You can get if you're looting. Maybe you get a load of you get a lot of diamonds. You get some amber, onyx. Okay, then you can sell this on, or maybe you have a mission where someone's looking for something for some sort of spell or ritual. Again, this is something that the GM can come up with and how it's used. 500 gold coins melted down into an ingot for easy transportation for gold bars. So with the weapons, a lot of them are some of them are going to be very similar to each other, and I don't really think that's a bad thing either, by the way. It just adds a little more variety in how people are going to feel. Because you just have a list of 6 or 7 things, it can kind of feel like you don't really have a choice. But this does, and you can imagine your character. Again, a lot of this stuff is about imagining things with the weapons, I think. There's a rapier and all in here. And it gives you a description of them, how they're used, what they look like, and some of them will have like a rapier here, a sword designed for parrying blows in combat. If using conduction with a dagger in the offhand, a rapier grants a +2 AC against any melee opponent. You can choose either strength or dex to use this weapon, whichever is greater. I would probably have it to be dex because it's a very elegant weapon. But again, it's up to each individual GM. Armor, just more choice, how it looks, how it feels, the price cost, and how it affects stealth and swimming. Adventuring gear, this is what I really like. It's going to give you lots of different options of what you could use or what you can get or find. Like some of these things are going to be just like a blindfold. Like maybe you're to kidnap someone, you don't want them to know where you're going. There you go, blindfold. They can say, "Oh, I rip off a piece of clothing." Okay, now you have a ripped shirt. Now you go replace it. To me, this stuff is great. It just adds more flavor to everything, and I love my games to have a little more detail. Acid melt through bars or metal. Chalk. One thing that is much needed in these games is chalk. And people are like, why would you need chalk? Oh, because you can mark where you're going. So if you get characters become disorientated for some reason, maybe there's a spell, they're all confused, they don't know where they are, then you can find the markings. You can mark out where you've come from or the direction you're going, so then you can find a way to get back. Chest of potions. So an empty chest full of potion storage, because who's going to be able to carry 40 different potions on their body? Yeah, no one. Disguise kit combined with the spy and the changing. Okay, I clearly love those two. They're lanyard, secure weapons, or anything else you want. Gloves, they protect gloves protect hands. And there's going to be a description of a lot of this stuff as you come down. Again, it's just more flavor. chalk. Uh, Small sticks of chalk can be used to write letters, draw pictograms on stone surfaces. Can be given to children to distract them for a short period of time. I love that. Fishing rod and hook. It's for fishing, obviously. But again, I'd like a little more detail in my games. I like survival. I like hunting, fishing, animal trapping, foraging, and the foraging bit is going to be coming up now soon. And you'll see why. Handsaws, holy water. Like, to me, this stuff is just great. Nice pair of leather gloves, prevent your hands from getting dirty or rope burn. If you're wearing gloves, you get a +1 to charisma. I'd probably just ignore that bit. But yeah, it's just things you don't really think of too much. Mortar and pestle. You can use this to then help create your potions and poisons. And say, oh well, you didn't create your potion right. It doesn't. It's not as effective. It doesn't work well, or doesn't work at all. Lockpicks. I wonder what they do. And a pipe. It doesn't really do anything except smoke for smoking. But it's like it could be a character trait that they're a smoker, and you have a cost to it instead of being like, oh, it's just X amount of whatever. Sewing kit. Then it can be used in survival within the game. Spikes. Whetstones. Getting a plus to your weapons. Plants and poisons. So this is the list that gives you. I'll just look at 2 or 3 of these. Birchwood reduces poison. Have a look. Birchwood. The herb can be consumed to slow the onset of a poison and reduce the damage. Then the leaves must be chewed raw, and this provides 24-hour protection. While active birchwood will cause poison damage to spread out to 1 point per turn instead of occurring in a large burst. Blue cup mushroom. I really like this one. Basically, it's like a super energy drink when it's chopped up and prepared right, or energy food when it's prepared right. 3 to 6 hours of energy and hyper awareness to their surroundings. So, say if your character's on the run, they're not able to sleep because they're going to get caught. They're out in the wilderness. They're far away from everything. Give them that, and they're off. While they won't be able to sleep, especially if you got like you roll 3d6 and then it's hours. Oh, you got 15 hours. You're not able to sleep after a day of already not sleeping. You're not healing from resting. I think that'd be quite funny. And then after the next day when you wake up, you've basically half the day where you're basically brain dead and tired and can't do anything. Yeah, it's just more flavour. I can add a little more complexity to your games if you wish. Traps, there's just different kind of traps, a bit more variety. And spell catalysts. This is really cool. It kind of reminds me of the A&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. There you go. Because in the old days, you would be required to use certain items to cast some spells, or other items could be used to make your spells more powerful. Same here. Like the wool, it basically makes your turn undead more powerful. Like the black pepper, doing restoration, it consumes the black pepper and extends the range. So maybe it doubles the range of the restoration spell. So you can have a look at some of this. Dill, the seed from the flowering herb, is used in cooking. Used as a cooking spice. If held while casting Featherfall, it consumes the item, allows you to alter your downward trajectory using your mind, subject to the game master's judgment, obviously. So, say if you're falling down a hill and there's a waterfall beside you and you missed the point where you're going to land in the water, cast that and then boom, you've now able to move yourself a little bit, a couple feet over, and instead of dying, you've now landed in the big pool of water and you're only injured. Again, I think this book is great. There's a lot of great ideas and options you can use. Maybe only want to use 2 or 3 things from this. Maybe you just want to use the equipment section. I think it's great. And let's see where the wool is. The wool. Yeah. Sheep hair. If held while casting Turn Undead, consumes the item. Destroys the affected undead that failed their charisma check by +7 instead of the normal +10. Or 10 plus. So this makes it a bit more powerful, basically. Or your chance of making the success. But yeah, so this is the Player Companion by Chubby Funster. I'll link it in his drive-through RPG where you can get this, and also look at his other products. So yeah guys, that's it. Have a good one, hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all again later.